Medal match, and I know my partner up here has been waiting for this one. Here we go, 74 kilos. It's a rematch of last year's final.
Wearing the red, representing Slovakia, Tаймураз, Салказанов.
The two-time reigning European champion is Tаймураз Салказанов. Outstanding defensive wrestler. He gave up only 1 point in yesterday's 3 victories. Salказanov, a world silver medalist last year, and we talked about it. The big bullseye on his back-to-back European championships. So good defensively. He'll look to win his 3rd straight against a wrestler who is so accomplished offensively. Contrasting styles collide for gold at 74, and George Salказanov has had Chamizo's number the last couple of matchups.
The last 2 matchups he's had his number. Both times he's beat him in the last 2 seconds of the match, but you're talking about human highlight reels, and he's stepping on the mat right now, Frank Chamizo Marquez.
UWW's Vinay Singh caught up with Chamizo after a semifinal win, and you know, Frank is a personality that he just wears on his sleeve. He says, I hate wrestling Salказanov. You talk about 2 contrasting styles, he admitted it. So here we go. The blue of Italy of Chamizo, the red Slovakia Salказanov.
Salказanov so good in his defensive wrestling, takes his time, never really out of position, just always working. A real workhorse in wrestling, just constantly pushes. He can fight for 6 minutes. As you could see in the last 2 matches of these two together, Salказanov every time in the last 1 or 2 seconds winning those matches.
Chamizo provided some late match heroics yesterday. He gave some of his fans heart failure a few times early on. He had to rally to win in the opening round, came back from, I believe it was a 6-1 deficit in the quarterfinals to rally and win. Never trailed in the semifinals. So he survived the first 2 rounds and then cruised in the semis.
That was an incredibly close fight. He brought it down to the last 10 seconds. One thing about Frank Chamizo, you can never count him out. He's always moving. He's got some of the heaviest hips in wrestling. And he makes it look effortless. He moves so good. Very rarely looks like he's under any stress.
Contact. Look, contact.
Salказanov, George, when you talk about his style, his ability to really put away the opposition's offense, but he can score as well. What's the key for Salказanov in this run that he's enjoyed the last couple of years?
Salказanov now, he just needs to take his time, not get out of position. Chamizo's somebody who moves a lot, left, right, up, down. Salказanov, there we go, just took his time. We'll drive him out for 1 point. That was the perfect example because Chamizo was moving up, down, side to side, and he'll open himself up if he's not careful, and Salказanov just needs to stay low, stay compact, and the opening will be there, and he's got that power to finish the shots at the end.
There was no panic from the Slovakia camp after the Zagreb Open, where Tаймураз Салказанов lost a couple of contests, and fans were wondering what's going on. No panic. You talk to Slovakia, and just another step. It's a long year, especially with the Olympics next year. It really becomes a 2-year cycle, and you're working on different parts of the sport and your craft during that time.
That's it. You see a lot of wrestlers in these early tournaments in the year, they're just trying new things. They're trying to work out what's going to be good for them for the season. Doesn't really mean anything if they win or not in those first few tournaments. What's important is the continental championships and the Olympic qualifiers.
Okay, no block.
Step out point has been it so far. Salказanov with a 1-0 lead, 20 seconds here in this opening period.
Again, Salказanov just staying nice and low, not going out of position, taking his time.
Action.
you look at how good Salказanov has been, one last burst of energy from Chamizo at first period expires, but for as good as the last couple of years were, and they have been really good for Salказanov, he did not make the Olympics, and that's his driving force right now. Came up short in the world qualifier, placing third, and man, when you're that close, it can haunt you a while, but it can also motivate you, as we've seen.
Especially when you're European champion 2 years on the trot. He's got all the tools to qualify for the Olympics, not just qualify for the Olympics, but medal in the Olympics. It's just sometimes those high pressure situations, he can get to people sometimes. But again, he's in another European final, so he's doing something right.
Let's see what adjustments Italy makes. Frank Chamizo, the two-time world, four-time European champion, trying to get back on top for the first time since 2020. Won titles in 16, 17, and then again back-to-back in 19 and 20.
See, this is typical Chamizo now, just moving, faking, in and out. So light on his feet. But again, Salказanov taking his time, staying in that position, not going out.
Brief break. Chamizo still not seeing clearly and stopping the match and telling the referee that he's going to use some of his injury time.
Yeah, looks like he got a hand in the eye, I think, an eye poke or...
So the medical staff will look to Chamizo. Great career for Frank Chamizo, but the one obstacle he's had the last couple of years has been the guy in the opposite corner with Salказanov. These two met in the finals last year. Salказanov winning by a point. Chamizo, the two-time Olympian, both the Rio and Tokyo games, placing 5th in Tokyo. Let's see if that vision's cleared up as action resumes. 2:23 and counting, a 1-0 lead.
This is a wrong decision what they're giving against Chamizo here. Chamizo was the whole second round busy, faking, shooting. I don't agree with that decision. Salказanov just needs to stay calm, take his time, stay in the position. A lot of people, if you try and wrestle Chamizo in his way, you're going to lose.
Takes a lot of discipline.
It does, to take your time. And that comes with experience. When you've been wrestling as long as he has and he's won these high-level matches that he has, he's got that experience to just keep calm in that situation, keep in position.
Salказanov is going to pick up the point. He goes up 2-0. Maybe reading the body language a little bit, some frustration starting to mount with Chamizo.
Yeah, you could see him, a bit of a sigh there, as if like no matter what he's trying, it's not working. Very rare from Chamizo, that. And another point there for Salказanov.
He just bullied Chamizo out.
Yeah,
would not
exactly.
let the Italian get back into the center.
You can't let Chamizo get a balance on his foot. Once he's got balance on his foot like that, he can fight very good with his hips. So the best option is just to drive him off the mat and get that point.
Chamizo tried to drop low, cut off by Salказanov. Both wrestlers disengaged, right back at it, forehead to forehead. Chamizo, plenty of offense. He has an arsenal of 4-pointers, so 3-point deficit with a minute to go. Certainly still in his wheelhouse with his skill and talent.
Salказanov so disciplined in this match, staying low the whole time. Literally just showing the basics of defensive wrestling and every time scoring with it.
Chamizo trying to bring the fight to the big Slovakian wrestler, but to no avail. The Italian corner frustrated as well. 35 seconds to go.
Yeah, there's been no passive warning to Salказanov this whole fight. Chamizo's been going and going and going, faking, moving around, but still nothing.
Salказanov content just to hold steady, keep his position. Chamizo will muster up one more attack. And the referee stops it with 10 seconds.
Salказanov just needs to take his time now, keeping tied up, keeping a good position.
And Chamizo will get the point here. Caution him one for Fleen. 5 seconds. Chamizo still on the hunt near the edge, and for
That'll
the third straight year, Tаймураз Салказанов has won the Continental Gold and the celebration for Slovakia.
From Slovakia, Tаймураз Salkazanov.
That just goes to show basics win fights. He was calm the whole match. Doesn't even look out of breath.